Oh, wait, it's my intro, isn't
Oh my
it?
god! Just start
Look. No, we go. We go. There's so many things now. We're setting up things, doing things. Look, I'm now a machine. Woo! Isn't this fun? Okay, we're here to talk about Tenno Clock. Greetings, everyone, to another episode of Loz and Xeno mess around with technology pointlessly. Right, okay, so we'll start every week as we do every week and have some emblems, which I don't know how I'm going to look at, but there will be emblems.
Yeah.
Let me try and move this bit.
They're
window,
in they're in Discord.
Probably. I can't see that window right now.
Can't you just move windows around?
I may be able to, which I will do in a minute. Right. Anyway, yes, I can see emblems.
Yeah,
they're pretty cool.
Yeah. Any further thoughts?
I don't know. What's your further thoughts on it?
I actually quite liked yours until I realized that there was a manic behind it. And though
I love the manic.
I do like the manic, I just felt it was a lot of like sensory overload. Like I found it really hard to see the manic compared to the mad. The manic
I think normally it is really hard to see the manic.
No, you can just hear them. So, but you get my point. So I quite like yours, but the manic, like I feel detracts from it. Mine, I thought that was really nice and simplistic. I like the gradient. I like the shape of it, so on and so forth. I'm not 100% sure what it's supposed to be, apart from maybe just a symbol. But
right,
yeah. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
I like mine more. I'm not sure what yours is. Like, don't get me wrong, it's simplistic and but is it also letters?
It could be. It could be an F and a B.
F and a B? I thought a D and an F. Or an O and an F.
Oh, it could be a D and an F. It could be an O and F.
Or is it like an 8 and it's just chopped off the top right?
Well, that's the. I think we're going too far into it.
I think this is too confusing. Thus, mine wins because mine knows what it says and it's mad and it's got a manic.
You're just trying to get more points.
Manic. Yep. I have to fight for these points, man. Anyway, no, this one I actually thought was really good. I was actually even tempted to save this one because I thought it would do very good with a guest. So I think it's much better than yours on this one.
Cool, right?
I mean, it's not got any of the normal flaws. For quite an ambitious emblem, it hasn't got a lot of the flaws that you'd see with such an ambitious emblem. You know, with errors to do with the box shape or colors or lighting, and you can see the manic when you go, oh look, there's a manic. Whoa, a manic. You know,
a manic. I gotta ask. With the whole webcam setup you currently have, are you moving around more?
Well, I was, but I'm not sure because I was trying to look at the copy of it what I've got for the clock. I'm not sure if it's a little bit of delay or not. I'm gonna look left and look right. Is there a delay on that?
There's a little bit. No. It just feels like, you know, I swear, without the Excalibur, you were quite still in the past.
Right.
So anyway, it doesn't matter.
I think it over-exaggerates little things, really.
Right.
Is the other issue. But looking down probably doesn't feel that big with a human head. With a Warframe head, it looks like, oh, look, he's looking down. All right.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Yes, moving on. So that's it for emblems.
Yes. Yes. Should we move on to Dojo Dusting?
Yep. So the big terrible thing finally happened. D have let me back into the creator program. It was terrible news. You know, I don't know what they were thinking. Now, so back into the creator program, which is excellent. Really nice to be part of the Warframe side of things. Going to try and talk to more content creators, see about having them on as guests and things. The difficulty is I always find this difficult with streamers because nearly every streamer has a streamer mode. Do you know what I mean by this? Like a presenter mode. There you go. Yeah, presenter mode. So where they're like, I'm being an entertainer as a streamer. They're not themselves. They're not relaxed. They're not necessarily talking in their normal rhythmic way or anything like this.
Yeah.
And I always find it very difficult to identify who would be good who would be a great guest for 10 o'clock and who is drunk off their feet.
No, drunk on feet. No. It's. I can see what you mean. What you're saying is that it is streaming is a profession in this day and age, which is true.
Yeah.
But some people are very good at the streaming side of things, but not taking those skills that you need for streaming and keeping them as skills for other purposes. They literally can only keep them in the compact methodology of streaming. So when they try and apply it to, let's say, hey, I'm on a podcast, they don't use their great communication skills that they have and just turn off some of the other switches. They keep it all as package of streaming and they enter stream mode.
Well, my point is that I find it difficult to identify, because we've had some guests on that have been, holy crap, we did not expect this of you. We've had other guests on that barely contributed at all. It's difficult to realize who a person is beyond that point. But my point is that I'm going to try and work more with the other content creators to actually bring more guests into the show. That's the point. And,
right.
Already established, you get the point. Blah, 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 blah. Right.
Yeah.
Other dojo dusting. So I ended up getting the lovely message from DE that I got back into the partner program. Sorry, the creator program.
He was weeping. He was like, he lost God. They let me back in. And he broke down. It was very emotional.
Weirdly enough, that was not what happened in the slightest. But regardless of that, so I got that while I was away on holiday, and as a result, I have not been able to talk to DE about bringing back the emblem votes, the rewards for the emblem votes.
Right.
I need to sit down. I need to talk to them. It'll probably happen during this week.
Yeah, if they're still doing that. You mean the platinum rewards?
Exactly. So there's nothing in writing about it. So as far as I understand, they've limited it down to just milestone rewards now. So need to talk to them, get a clear yes, no, whatever. So
milestone rewards?
Yeah, so like if you get like 20,000 subscribers, 50,000 followers, you've been doing it for 10 years. They deem what is a milestone. So, but the idea.
I see. That's a shame because I did think. Well, I think people did like it, and I think I would hope. Well, from what I can tell, I don't know. Obviously, do you know the truth? But I think we were the people who used it the most. If that makes sense.
No, a lot of streamers were using it as well because they built it into like their currency things.
Oh well, but that's automatic and impersonal.
Yeah.
There's no soul to that. That's just, oh, look, I watched your stream for a lot and the machine gave me points. I request machine output thing for me now. Yay, I get thing. Woo!
Also, just on a random tangent, if you actually have any...
I don't mean to mean streamers.
I know. But if you have any recommendation for guests and things that, potentially we've not had on the show or, we've had like a long, long time ago, please just put them in the comments. Loz will send me a list of who they are and, so on and so forth. Right. Okay. Done with Dojo Dusting. Moving on to the topics.
Cool.
Let's see. Right. Okay. So, first topic for this week is the...
Oh, cool.
What?
I completely missed this dev stream and didn't catch up on it, so this is going to be useful. I will watch it after this. I'm determined never to miss a deep.
So the home dev stream number 5, which was quite a short one. I could have sworn we had more than that, but
it was like 40 minutes. I did check the.
It was actually quite short. So home dev stream number 5. Then we have. There is just way too much time forcibly spent waiting around in isolation vault bounties, especially if we are challenged to do 3 in the span of a worm cycle. I don't even know how long a worm cycle is. And then number 3, sorry, I have to do this manually because my hotkeys.
Ooh, 3 topics.
The cinematic cutscenes for the new player experience reminded me how much cooler wall running is compared to wall hopping.
Oh, an interesting topic. That is something they have been talking about many times, bringing back. Yeah.
Right. So we're gonna bring it back to topic 1. Right. So the home dev stream number 5. Cool. Lots of words. A large rebalance of resources and tokens needed to rank up in the Entrati Syndicate has gone into effect, lowering the amount of conservation and fishing needed for ranking due to all the complaints so far. The scintillant resource is being made much more common as DE's internal statistics show that it is not being picked up anywhere near as much as they planned amounts. So, do you know what scintillant is?
No.
Wisps.
Oh, right.
Cool. They've added it to things like the necromech drop tables when you kill one. As a balance, the Demos Vault runs have had some annoying difficulty increases by extending the duration of the mobile defense portions and increasing the rate of toxicity gain in the second phase, with even greater rates of toxicity if players try to leave that part early. Okay. Zaku feedback will be taken into account for a community revision in a couple of weeks to buff/change Zaku. The community frame gets community improvements. Lloyd/Otak is being made into a Sentinel skin. Not sure yet which Sentinel the skin will be for. I imagine it's going to be a universal one. DE distributed beer and root beer as a little celebration for the launch of Deimos. Unfortunately, not for Xeno. I feel this was not a thing. I feel Thalion is trolling me at this point. Thalion, don't troll me. Heart of Deimos, while a lot of concept and
don't tell him about the beer.
You mean the root beer?
Yep. What beer?
The root beer. Right, while
I think it cut out from a bit there. I don't get why. Sorry, just a point on that. The Sentinel skin. Why can't it just be universal?
No, my point is I think it will be universal.
Yeah, I think that one should be universal. Yeah. So keep going
on. While a lot of concept and in-progress art was shown off, taking the majority of the time, they did preview some upcoming additions to Demos. Infested kit guns will be coming to Father's offerings. These will apparently mix and match with existing Fortuna kit guns as an expansion to the kit gun roster, not a separate system. New enemies will be coming to Deimos too, such as the Splitter, a walker that is made up of two infested walkers like mower legs that are joined head to head. Another upcoming unit is work in progress named Zongro. What the hell? Which is a quadruped conservation animal with a gigantic mouth in the middle of its body. With the potential for more conservation animals, plus the complaint about conservation being too much a part of the Deimos rankings, a quality of life pass is planned for the conservation to make it easier and faster to do. Necromechs are planned to be similar to Necromechs are planned to be similar to art guns and be deployables in the rest of the game, with only the environment being a limitation on where you can take them. For example, you can deploy them if the Grineer in the Grineer asteroid if there's enough headroom. But if you can't walk through a door, then you'll have to leave it behind. Still no plan to do this for K-drives. And that's about it.
I don't get why not doing it for K-drives, because K-drives are hilarious, and why not? If you want to take your skateboard into a building and be a rebel, yeah, it might be really hard. Yes, you might slam your face against the wall lots, but that's you choosing to do that. You know, it seems ridiculous that you can't do it just so, I don't know why. But also the Necromechs, like you can deploy your Necromech anywhere.
I'm not sure how I feel about the Necromechs. I did the quest. I was playing it. I just hit.
Yeah, I still haven't.
just heard a disconnect sound from my PC, which makes me hope that, oh love of God, please don't have disconnected like a hard drive or something. Let me just double check that this hasn't botched the recording. I'm gonna pause. Right, sorry, small interruption. Right, I don't know how I feel about Necromax. I did the quest. They felt kind of clunky. I don't know. I want to know what the concept was that got greenlit for Necromax. Was it just a case of, oh look, let's just throw these things in? Because like I did quite a lot of the vaults last night, which is what some of this footage is and everything. And I just found the Necromax insufferable because they have abilities that are just like, you just want to scream at your monitor. They're just so infuriating.
Do you mean the ones you were fighting, or the ones?
Yeah, the ones that I was fighting. Because
that's a different thing. The Necromech as an enemy versus the Necromech as a tool.
Yeah, no. So I mean, this is a difficulty. I don't know how I feel about it because to me, the enemy side of it is beyond infuriating, but the tool side of it seems, I don't understand. You know, we've seen there's tweets of Tactical Potato that has his Necromech doing like over 1 million damage or something. Scott's like, gonna have to look at that. So I love that head shake. Yeah.
God. Why is it always the damage system? Why can it never be simple? Why is this yet another facet that I can add to my list of things, damage sources which are not normalized and are causing massive problems? Oh God.
Anyway,
ridiculous. I wish this Necros behind me would move.
You could move.
No, I was here first, I think. Look at him in his red with his candy cane. He's got a candy cane scythe. Ridiculous.
He's there to antagonize you, Loz.
He is. Look, he's doing animation again. It's ridiculous. Sorry. Back into the...
Right. Going back to it, I like to hear that they're doing all these improvements and things like that. How do you feel of the token system? Have you played much?
I've done the quest, and I've done a few just random bounties just for fun. I haven't really gotten to grips with it and tried to hit a cap or anything.
Right. So, are you aware of how the reputation is earned?
Yeah, you do missions, get coins, and then you can give coins to mother, grandmother, and whatever, and you can...
Yeah. Right. So the big thing is you can trade coins with grandmother for grandmother coins.
Yeah.
And they are... No, shut up, phone. They are, I believe, 1.5 times better. So if you give grandmother 1,000 rep worth of mother coins, she will give you 1,500 reps worth of grandmother coins. All right? That is as far as I understand how. But the problem with grandmother coins is they work much like the ticker system. So you need to know like what resources you have to have and so on and so forth. And a lot of them involves the sun's coins, which is the conservation. And I'll be honest, ain't nobody got time for that.
Right.
And that's to me, I just want to do bounties. I just, So I think 15 mother coins equals 1 grandmother coin. So it's to me, it might be simple for a lot of people. To me, I just felt unnecessarily confusing. Like, I also would have thought if I'm trading the resource, I would have done it with mother, not with grandmother. That was another, like, mother is the representation of the Entrati, and she's not the one that's giving out the coins. It feels really weird.
Well, no. Well, first of all, grandmother has to do something. Also, I suppose we don't have to worry too much about spoilers because this has come out on every platform, hasn't it now?
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about that. But and maybe spoilers for Quest if anyone hasn't got around to doing it. But that kind of does fit with the end of the quest. Grandmother doing that. She's the one who's about, playing them off against each other, thus gaining you more reputation from doing this favors through her that she then passes through. Kind of works.
Yeah, I suppose. Right. I'm happy with the stuff that they're bringing forward. I like the fact that Zaku is getting a rework, community improvements rather.
Well, every Warframe does, That's...
Well, Joey is not too outspoken. Sorry, I'm not throwing Joey into the bus, but he did turn to me and said, "Okay." Joey did turn to me and say, "Zaku is just bad," and he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to I can appreciate that. Some Warframes you just can't get on with them. I think Korra was the same when she first came out. So I'm glad that they're going to get community feedback to improve Zaku. Right. Yeah. Should we move on to topic 2, or do you have anything else you want to highlight?
No, I mean, sadly, I've not had that much chance to get grips with Deimos. As in now, I'm currently stuck in the Necrolisk. I can't get out, apparently. Just stuck in here.
You're stuck.
Yeah. But I'll hopefully catch up with it to get a better feel of these things. But looking at the stream, obviously, new content's coming out. It's being patched. You've had a quick look at the Steam numbers, haven't you?
Yes. It's actually doing surprisingly well on Steam. Nice. I hope that it will stay high in terms of the numbers.
For a while, yeah.
So, lifetime, it peaked at 154,000, which was TennoCon this year, so it was earlier this month.
Oh, really?
Yes. And it's currently... Oh, let me go get the numbers again. So, Steam, charts, Warframe...
I don't know, would it be too much effort for you to take a quick print screen and just slap it on? Because I remember when we did the neck-crack thing and a few people...
Yeah, sure.
On screen.
How... Will this do? This will probably do. So if I snip it, how do I snip it? I want to snip it. I want to snip it. Snip it. Oh shoot! I shouldn't have done that. Oh well. Hold on. So here's a print screen.
Then my terrible idea has broken things.
Yep, it always does. Shouldn't break things, Loz. Breaking things is bad. Right, save that. Go back. Hold on. I'm gonna pause. Right, got the numbers. Right, so in the last few months, you can see that the numbers for players have actually decreased significantly. So July being 39,000 players on average, but with a peak of 58,000. However, within the last 30 days, averaged at 59,000 and peaked at 154,000. Okay, that's a really big standard deviation right there. But in the last hour, there was 72.2 thousand people playing, and in the last 24 hours, the peak was 105,000. Those are the two most important numbers, which are located towards the top of the screenshot. So I think it's good. It's doing better.
Let's hope Deimos keeps people's attention. And I mean, I've not seen the full amount of Deimos's content. It looks cool to me, but I do hope that maybe there's, like they do with most open worlds, they then go back and add some more to give it more life. I wish they'd go back again though, but we got the Tridlon, we got Ghouls, we got Plague Star.
Yeah. So I hope that they're going to continue to expand upon it, especially the plot. Yes. There's lots of lore here, but I would like to hear more about the plot. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we've got cool, crazy stuff with Cephalon Lloyd in the weird chamber in the back of the Necrolisk. Cool. Still want current plot to happen, so I should actually make that go away now. Anyway, right. Let's move on.
Replies. So,
no, there's no replies. Let's move on to topic 2.
Jam.
Alright, so topic 2. What the hell did I just press? Right. There is just way too much time forcibly spent waiting around in isolation vault bounties, especially if we are challenged to do 3 in the span of a worm cycle. Not counting the amount of time spent loading into the Cambion drift, no less than half an hour, half of the objectives are waiting while fighting off the infested. The other half is mostly dependent on player ability, but why can't the rest of the bounty be like this? If the players are skilled and strong enough, they can complete the objective faster as a result. In regards to doing 2 or 3 in a single trip to the drift, while under the hour or so timer of a worm phase to do multiple runs is actually less than you'd think due to the forced waiting. So it seems okay. Once the residue is collected, have you done a vault? I don't think you have.
No.
So the vault is in multiple stages. Stage 1, listen to a long-winded speech about what you have to do. Stage 2, pick up resources, either FAS or VOM, right? So one of the two worms. Then do a mobile defense while you're waiting for this machine to churn the whatever. Then go into a chamber, right? So it's this underground chamber where you literally have to do some... it's Elite Sanctuary Onslaught, where you have to make sure that this toxicity doesn't reach 100%.
Yes, I remember seeing that they showed that bit on the Telecon, didn't they?
Yeah, so you have to make sure that it doesn't reach 100%, and you do that by killing things, and you have to wait 2 minutes before it crashes. Then you can finally go into the procedurally generated part. You fight a Necromech 2 or 3, depending on what stage you're in this vault thing. Once you've done that, you then take Lloyd to... Oh god, he basically interacts with these 4 obelisks. You got to protect him then. You take him back to the vault door, much like in the quest. You get shown a code. The code disappears. You then have to shoot the pedestals to make the door open. Bish, bash, bosh, job's done. But the longest parts are the waiting for the residue to churn and the toxicity chamber. Hello? Can you not hear me? Loz?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Right. So
the longest parts are
the mobile defense churny thing and the toxicity chamber. They just take ages for no reason. Oh, and the stupid tutorial of, this is what you have to do. Yes, I've done so many of them. Can you please stop telling me how to do it?
Yeah.
Can you please stop
redundant repeated dialogue is redundant repeated dialogue, which is their first, which should be only be a one-time thing, is a hallmark of the game at this point, isn't it?
Really is. So, and the worst thing is, you get the same speech between each section as well.
Oh god, really?
Yeah.
Why not just make running the first one of these a secondary quest that you run once? That's just literally straightforward. Do 1 vault as a quick thing, and then you can have different sound effects. But it's something that this should be a crusade to fix this, because this is recurring now with a lot of the new game modes and things, isn't it? Because was it Destruction? I keep forgetting the name of the bloody.
It is Disruption. Pretty sure it is.
Right.
But again, that doesn't feel nearly as long as this, because that speech is happening while you're getting in there, as opposed to you're in there and you're waiting for the map nodes to actually tell you where you've got to go and things. You're just having to wait for this speech, and anyway, I think apparently that's the thing that most people are complaining about, is this stupid. So I kind of agree with what this person is saying. I dislike how little time is spent in the procedurally generated tunnels compared to the waiting for shit to happen. I don't know if it's a engine thing. I don't know if it's yeah, I don't know if it's we have to load stuff in the background. Fair enough, but at the same time, it is quite frustrating.
Mm.
You know, a part of me actually wonders, are those caves already there? And I don't know.
I see that they say during the actual cooking, maybe you recycle that mechanic from the Valis bounty objective, where a marked enemy drops a pickup that increases the time spent waiting. That sounds like a very good suggestion they've given there. I like.
Is that a reply?
No, that's in
oh no,
the
sorry,
topic.
I didn't finish, did I? Sorry.
Oh.
During sorry, because I got to that point, I was like, oh, you don't necessarily know what these things are, do you?
Okay.
Once you collect the residue, okay. During the actual cooking, maybe recycle the mechanic from the oil. Yeah, I completely agree with that. The leaving penalty. It is too easy to abuse for griefing. A player that needs to leave because of real life circumstances should not inflict the penalty to their teammates. Lloyd should move faster and be able to move through infested while moving between points. Remove the least movement. Remove the last movement back to the vault. Oh! Right, so after he's interacted with the obelisks, he then travels back to the vault. They're saying just teleport him back, right? Make sure he always takes the most efficient path to the next point. Add a double or triple vault run bounty matchmaking to Mom's bounty list at the Necrolisk. Okay, the last point I'm totally on board for.
No.
Just
you've got chat. Just look for people who want to do it in chat. That's a chat thing.
But the problem is that it penalizes you if people leave partway through the run.
Right, but
so if they've done one and then they leave, it makes the next two harder.
What? It varies between 2 to 4 players?
No. So if you start with 2, it's fine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you start with 4 and one leaves, it purposely makes part of it harder. That's what I've understood.
Does it? How? Yeah, but
so you know the toxicity room.
People... Yeah.
As far as I understand it, the toxicity room gets harder because someone's left.
Why not just make the game rescale the numbers based if people leave?
I don't know.
But as for the double or triple vault run, the matchmaking thing, I mean, that's exactly what you would do. Adding that onto the button there doesn't fix that issue.
What do
you mean? Unless that will also let people join who are on... Unless that will let people join when they're done 2 vaults and they're doing a 3rd vault and someone leaves and then somebody can join in on that 3rd vault.
Why not?
Because if that's what that means. Because to me, what that means is just have a button there to say, we're looking to do a double vault. Everyone who wants to do a double vault, click this button.
I think they have it for the Eidolons. So if they
but that's different because that I don't know actually. See, I've not done it. Is doing 3 vaults like a thing? Is that like a special, or is it just
it's the equivalent of doing the Eidolons.
Oh, it is. Okay, because I haven't done it. Fair enough. I'm with it now. Yeah, okay,
right.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So it's very interesting.
It's not just the maximum number of vaults you can fit within the time limit is 3. Yeah.
No, there aren't any more to do after 3.
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Oh no, then that makes sense. Okay, I'm with you now. Okay, right. I get it. 100%. Yeah, add that as a button.
Yeah. So like, if you could do it endlessly. The other side of things is one of the things that pisses me off is when you finish doing one of the vaults, you're not asked, do you want to do another vault? You're not asked, do you want to leave? Do you want to conclude now? Do you want to complete? You're basically, right, now go back into the Cambion Drift, and you have to go find one of the specific mothers in the Cambion Drift to then start the next part.
Right.
It's always the same ones. But to me, that is just such bad user experience. Right? You go...
It does seem this whole... I can understand the vault thing, and I remember seeing them do that, and that looked pretty solid. But then it just seems like they've gone, now try and do 3 in a row and not really fleshed out the niggles of that system. Hopefully they will, but
Well,
it just seems like that's been bolted on.
I feel it's a copy pasta from the Eidolons, where after you've done it... Yeah, fine, Tridalon. But after you've done a terror list, you then have to go summon the gaunt list, right?
But you know where it is going to be. It's very clear. You know, it's pick up what you've
got
to do.
With this, it feels like, well, why are you treating it the same? You don't have to do it with this, right? You could quite easily have a survival, or what's the name of the other mid-game mode? Defense intermission window that says, do you want to keep going or do you want to bail out?
Yeah.
Right? I don't know why that wasn't employed. Anyway, that's by the by. I do agree with this. I would like to spend a lot more time in the name of the thing. The extra procedurally generated caverns. You barely spend any time. Like, right now, the gameplay footage, this is the toxicity thing. This is the toxicity chamber. This is one of 3. And it's... Yay! It just feels... needlessly long.
Looks like you're just killing things.
It's that you gotta kill things. You might be able to see my UI is actually quite small. Top left-hand corner, the toxicity level thing, and then the...
Yeah, I can see it above me. Yep.
Yeah, and the timer. So you just gotta wait there for... I think it's more than 2 minutes. Anyway, but it's not fun having to do that every single time. Right. Should we go to the replies? Do you have anything you want to add?
Well, so I've not done it. Is there not like some of the missions where you're not going out for vaults, but you're just going out to cleanse an infested hive, and it's just endless amounts of the...
There are normal bounties, yes.
Right. Okay. I'll have to. I'm gonna. Hopefully, this next week I'll be able to find the time to give it a good grip, get to grips with it.
But one thing I will say, this is the thing that like really confused me. To like, I only really twigged that this is the equivalent of the Eidolon fight during this conversation. But the thing with this is that this is available 24/7, right? It's available during all of the phases of Demos.
Right, but you have to try and get 3 done within 1 worm swap.
Exactly.
Right. But you can do it for either worm. Just 1.
Yes, yeah.
So if you do 2 vaults and then the worm swap, and you just as you start the 3rd one, can you not finish the 3rd vault?
I think you can. I'm not 100% sure, because we've done it before where there's been a worm swap. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. We also had it where it was bugging out on us repeatedly, where you couldn't open up the toxicity chamber as well. We found out that the host has to be the one to open the door, otherwise it can bug and the door won't open.
Well, that's common.
So yeah, but is what is. Right, shall we go to replies?
Yeah, sure. You start with a long, non-skippable dialogue before each vault, which plays before every vault too. Same damn dialogue.
Yep.
Then you have to fly to a random location for a split second to spawn the actual spots where you have to grab the bait.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a shame. Maybe make it that a check that if you've done it one time, don't do. Yeah. Oh well, I'm sure D will get back to fixing that. It's just an oversight is all. Next one. For your information, Lloyd can be sped up with Wisp motes and Nova wormhole.
Also Loki switch teleport.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's going to change.
Is that going to change? Okay.
That's totally going to change. Like, if they changed it for the Hacker Pod Planes of Eidolon MacGuffins, they're going to change it for this.
Right, yes, of course. It also says this PSA was funded by the 300% Strength Whisper Gang.
Okay, cool.
Well done. On Necromechs, why are the enemy Necromechs so tanky, but any we pick up dies to a stiff breeze?
Yeah, this is the sort of problem that I'm referring to. So they have this Iron Skin invulnerability phase, which is infuriating as hell. As far as I understand, you have to deal enough damage to break it out of this invulnerability. But then the next infuriating thing is they have these stupid slow grenades, which oh cool. I didn't want to stand up on my 2 feet. I want to sit here on the floor and shoot at you with my Nucore. My Kuva Nucore. Like it feels like a part of the fight is needlessly prolonged.
Fair. There's also too much dialogue. I wish we could start doing objectives while Lloyd and Otek are speaking. Also, I don't mind waiting for the thing to cook, but the waiting time in the cave feels like an inconvenience.
Yep. I also don't mind too much about the cooking. It's more the toxicity chamber just bugs the shit out of me.
Agreed, the waiting period is what's the worst, which says a lot when the waiting period is about 20 seconds or so for the two main steps. The escort is a bit meh. Note, I know you have to wait 90 seconds for the bait and such, but at least you get to do something while waiting. Is it super fun? Nope. But at least it's not stand here and look stupidly good. That's a fair point. You know, there's a difference between...
I'm not sure what they mean by this 20 seconds thing. Unless they're talking about the speech at the beginning.
I think maybe that's what they're talking about, where there's just pure waiting.
Yeah.
And the last one is, I don't like the first phase being extended. I put up with it, though, if that boring-ass second phase with the toxicity was lowered to 90 seconds also. It feels like an eternity. Everything else feels fine to me.
Yeah.
It does seem, well, maybe it's a bit too complex to do, but this, so I think I understand the gist of the toxicity phase. Why can't there be a random, seeing as it is in the actual infested caves bit, why can't that be a bit more random? I assume all it does is just chucks enemies at you and just keep killing enemies till it says stop.
Yeah. Like, again, why can't it, like, alternate between this Elite Sanctuary Onslaught part and maybe a defense with you have to protect a Corpus or a Grineer or something down there, right?
You
know, minor detour, gotta protect this person for 2 minutes. Or, you know, it just changes it up.
Or why can't you have one where somebody has to hack various terminals which light up and turn off, and it's random, and they've only got so many seconds to get to between terminals and things like that? Just there's other it's basically the gameplay loop, and it's the gameplay there is the rawest and simplest one of just kill things till we say stop. When it could have been a bit more complex. So yeah. Overall, though, I mean, as I say, I'm going to have to do catching up, but it seems to me that there's just the redundant dialogue and waiting periods, and maybe those need a bit of changing, tweaks and changes. I'm sure that hopefully DE will get around to doing them because they do make these changes to bounties, but we'll see. Yeah.
I will say, give hats off to them. They did actually introduce the quick escape from when you're deep down in the caves and just hit I don't know, you go up to the worm, you hit it, and then it will just spit you back outside the cave, as opposed to
right, you
don't have to backtrack the whole thing, which is great.
But why even on the third one?
What do you mean even on the third one?
Because you do 3 volts, don't you? You can do up 3 volts.
Yeah, you can
so
still just.
I can understand for what. Well, what I was going to suggest is it makes sense for 1 and 2 because you need to get onto you've only got so much time to get onto the third one. But wouldn't it be cool if sometimes when you're doing the third one, it changes to a mini event where it's like collapsing or something, and you have to kind of run out? Wouldn't that be cool?
I'd be down for that.
Yeah. You know, you go up to use the fast travel thing, and that just disappears on you, and it's like, oh no, it's collapsing. Get out of there, Tenno. And then, you know, different event down. But I know it'd be more work, but it just, the variation is key for these things, so things don't feel fresh for longer. But yeah.
One of the random points is that these vaults they're not vaults. They're is it decompression chambers? You know how like submariners, like, you know, would go deep underwater. They'd have to repressurize to be able to function in that different pressure. That's what these vaults are. They're supposed to be decompression.
Barometric chamber?
I think so. Yeah, barometric chambers. So the idea is that whenever the Orokin would go into the void to explore it, they'd have to go into one of these chambers to, you know, reacclimatize and everything before they could go back into the real world. I'm like, why did you call it a vault? Anyway. Last one? Or we done them all?
Yeah, that's it for the replies on that topic.
Cool. Moving on to topic number 3. Right.
Cool.
Oh, wait. No, that does not work, does it? I have to manually do it. Click that button. Click that button. Wait a second. That says topic 2. That should say topic 3. Gosh darn it. Darn incarnation. Cool. Right. Topic 3. The cinematic cutscene for the new player experience reminds me of how much cooler wall running is compared to wall hopping. Parkour 1.0 had a sweet wall running animation that was significantly sacrificed for the improvements brought with Parkour 2.0, and now we have bunny hopping on walls. However, I always found it very silly how you hop around walls instead of how you used to actually run on them. This definitely shows in the starter cutscene for the Awakening, and you get to see just how much cooler it is for Excalibur to actually run on the wall as he attacks Grineer, as opposed to how it really is in the game right now, just hopping on it. Do you think there's any hope of Parkour 3.0, or DE just decided to finally turn the animation back to running while keeping the fluidity of the parkour itself intact? To clarify, since people seem to think I prefer Parkour 1.0 and its limitations of it, I'm referring purely to the animation and looks, not the mechanics. Ideally, it would be really cool to have the same mechanics of Parkour 2.0, but with smoother and better looking animations of wall running.
Yeah. Now, I know the reason they did the change to the hopping is to get around objects, or for it to manage more, because the running really worked on flat, long surfaces. And that's why a lot of the early game had lots of long, flat surfaces. But then, like, anything that was interesting and dynamic with bits sticking out was confusing for it. And the hopping was supposed to be able to get around that better. But I have heard that I remember on several dev streams, Steve has said he wants to go back to wall running, and talking to Jeff about it. And like, yeah, Jeff was saying, if I believe, I might be wrong, that they could work around and make it work on these extra things. It's just more work now. It's a bigger task, but they could still make it work. Oh, what's that? It's moaning at me. Stop, go away. They could make it work, but I just don't think they've gotten around to it, because other more important things keep coming up. I think it's been brought up 2, maybe 3 times on a dev stream that they want to go back to the wall running rather than hopping. The hopping is working in game, and like, oh, this comes up. So I think it's just near the bottom of the pile.
To me, it's neither here nor there, because physics.
That's a cool looking rhino.
Physics-wise, it doesn't really. It's neither here nor there, because no one can part. No, if someone can, fair enough. But my understanding of physics, no one could wall run for as long as a Warframe can. Right? They get 2, 3, maybe 4 steps along the wall, and then they just fall off.
Well,
right?
people can't hop along walls as many times as a Warframe can either.
No, but yeah, fair point. So my point is that is this really that big a deal?
I think it. I think it is. I really think it is because it does look better than the hopping. The hopping feels silly, looks silly, doesn't really have any presence in the game. It's just, oh yeah, you can hop. I remember I used to feel like love the running. The running felt amazing. I wanted to run and bounce between objects. Hopping's just like doesn't have any. I can't think of the words. So I'm just going with. There's no visceral feel about it. It's just like hop, 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 hop. Whereas running was, I'm on this wall, jump to the other wall. You know, you felt proper ninja-esque with that. I know we wouldn't do it that much because it is parkour 2.0. Just bullet jumping is just better than most things, and we don't need to use these clever mechanics to get around maps like we did back then. But if they put it in the trailer, they really should at some point. I think the fact they put it in the trailer means they do want to go back to it again. It's just finding the time. We might be waiting years on this one.
I think you also hit the nail on the head. Like, how often do people actually wall run as opposed to bullet jump?
Yeah,
I like,
but I would probably wall run more if it wasn't the hopping. The hopping is just boring. It just even sounds bad. The sort of thick, 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 thick. Come on.
yeah. I mean,
I'd wall run on these walls here right now, but I have to stay in front of this camera.
You're not wrong. I just think that this is. To be honest, though, I would like to see more obstacles that require wall running, where bullet jumping is just not viable. I think if
I suppose elevated platforms that you had to go between, that you had to traverse quickly, which were long, because if they're too close together, you can just bullet jump between them. But if they're really long, like my arm, and I have to get from this platform to this one over here, I have to wall run along that. Wait.
I would actually say
I haven't got the hand motion thing, and I'm lifting my hands, and my hands don't move yet. My hands will hopefully move a bit
at some point.
In the future. Sorry, I'm holding up my hands, and you can't see them anymore because they're stuck.
But my point is, so I'm assuming it's like this, right? So you've got to traverse this part before you can traverse this part.
Yes, you're doing exactly what I was meaning to do. Yeah, and if you bring them too close together, you can just bullet jump between them. But if you've got really long ones,
I think the best way to do it realistically, though I agree with you, because they have bullet jumping, is make really thin corridors with no floor that you can't bullet. Like, if you bullet jump, then you will not hit the other end. Because remember, there's also gliding and stuff like that. There's aim. Like, you can traverse pretty much anything with bullet jumping. The big thing is with what I'm proposing is, so they're really thin corridors that you have to run down or whatever. There's no room for bullet jumping.
Yes. Yeah. And hell, let's also just put them in. Let's make this a corpus engine or something that's deploying a nullifier field as well, so you can't even use abilities down it. I know they're literally breaking the game to try and make wall running have a part in it, but trust me, wall running felt so cool. And if you could have I'd love the puzzles that were parkour puzzles. And if we had to go all these steps to have a puzzle that has wall running mechanics, and then it can have bits where you have to aim glide, and then it can have bits where you have to bullet jump cleverly and things. But hopping is just.
I get where you're coming from with the hopping, but to me, it's unfortunately it's neither here nor there. Yeah. Should we go to the replies?
Sure. I honestly haven't wall hopped in years, other than maybe climbing up a wall. Bullet jump and void dashing negated the need for wall hopping for the most part. I wish I had my hands. I'm gonna have my hands soon. I want to put a point. It's not just that Parkour 2.0 removes the need for these other things. the level design since Parkour 2.0 has never included parts which really needed wall running, parkour elements such as wall running, like they did before. I mean, before, do you remember there was like...
Well, no, I also disagree with that, because there were rooms that had parkour elements to them that had the elements removed. There were rooms that were just removed entirely.
No, but I mean that newer maps don't come out with the idea of you're going to need to wall run. Here's a lot of stuff for you to wall run along.
But I disagree with that with the
anymore.
Jupiter rework. There's loads
I'm
of
thinking of the Jupiter rework myself, and I like, for instance, the bit where there's the broken gantries you have to go between, and never is there a long floating horizontal pipe to run along. It's all just things you can just jump between.
Which gantries are you talking about?
I can't think of one with a very long horizontal platform being held.
You mean vertical?
For you to...
Vertical.
Well, it's held vertically, but it's horizontally long.
That doesn't make sense. Regardless, I can actually think of some where there's like this giant wall on the side that you could wall run the whole thing, as opposed to hop between the fragments of the gantry. Oh,
maybe there is one then.
I know of a couple.
Yeah, no, horizontally long makes perfect sense.
How does horizontal... What?
It's long on the horizontal plane. Rather than long...
Horizontal. Vertical.
Hang on, are you doing things with your hands?
Yeah. Horizontal, vertical.
Yeah, so in a horizontal way, put your hand back to horizontal.
It is long.
It's very long in that direction, requiring you to bounce along it.
Let's just keep going.
Looks fine, man. Looks fine.
I know what you mean. Right, next reply.
I mean, maybe there is. I just can't see it. But there's not a lot of those. I mean, maybe
no, there isn't a lot of them, and I know some people complain profusely about them because they don't have Parkour 2.0 down, which is, it's sad. They want to get better in things, but because there's no...
But it's a catch-22. Well, it's a chicken and egg, isn't it? If there's no reason for you to do it and nowhere to practice, you're never going to get better at it.
Yeah.
Unless you don't like it because you're not good at it, and but then it's because you got nowhere to practice. So Anyway, let's move on. Wall running looks nicer, but wall hopping is way more useful. It'd be really neat if they could combine the mechanic of wall hopping with the look of wall running, but it's not that big a deal to me. Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, it would be cool. And I think at some point when there's a lull, Steve will get around and Jeff will get around to fixing it amazingly. But it's just not a priority, I don't think, because wall hopping is functional. And that's what matters right now. And content and lore is what the game needs, not a cool traversal mechanic, which is not going to be the prime method of moving around.
Yep.
The last one here we have is, didn't DE say something around the time the Gas City remaster was being made that they wanted to bring wall running back? I wonder what happened to that. I think they've said it, as I say,
they've said it
multiple
times.
Yeah. But it's just other things are more important, I feel.
Yep.
Cool.
Right, that's it for... That turned off. Why didn't... Oh, God. Okay. So that's it for the topics. Yes. Now we move on to the graphs.
Yes.
Right. So, you ready?
Yes.
So our first graph...
I need a third monitor now.
Yeah, you do. All right. Our first graph is, have you finished all the nodes in Railjack? 34 people responded. 35% said no. 65% said yes. That no is a lot bigger than I thought it would be.
That's a lot smaller than I thought it would be.
Really? You think it would be the other way around?
Yeah, I thought most people just haven't bothered with Railjack. I just think it'd just be like, that would be at least 50%.
Interesting. I just thought I was in the minority. Right, so graph number 2. Railjack rework versus Railjack content. So do you remember last week? You know,
Yep. I thought this was weeks ago we said this, but apparently it was last week.
No, it was last week, last episode. So 35% said the rework first, and 65% said content first. So they actually, majority of people agreed with you.
I'm thinking, but now even I'm thinking, as I was reading people in the comments, I can't remember who it was, and I don't know. I'm almost to feel like maybe it should be both. But it just needs both. It really needs both. But I think last week I did say if you had to have one first. If I was going to lean on it, I think content first, because even if they gave us the most amazing game mechanic, this is what I boil it down to. Even if they give us the most amazing spaceship fighting simulator ever, you're still only going to be able to use it to blow up Grineer. I say Grineer specifically because that's all there is. Grineer fighters, Grineer cruise ships, and occasionally wait around for someone to do something in an asteroid, and that's it.
Yeah.
So they need content, varying content, to even understand what we need to improve and change.
Cool. The third graph. Would you like to see the event as described in topic 2? Do you remember the event?
Roughly. I remember.
You fight Eidolons.
Gave a very big, very complex description breakdown of it, which I
get through. You fight Eidolons. You then fight
into space and things. Yeah.
Cool. Right. Okay. So let's see. 12% said that they didn't really understand what was described. Fair enough. 15% said
we needed diagrams.
Yes. 15% said that they didn't care, and 15% also said yes, as it is. 21% said there are a number of conceptual holes, and 38% said it needs minor changes.
See, I think I'm with the minor changes crowd, because I think all of us are just like, a complex multi-stage thing in Warframe, or content for Warframe. Yes, just give us content, please. But Demos seems great, but like, we're always hungry for more Warframe. So
I do wonder how long will Demos last. So then not the last. Next graph is: do you feel the sentience should be after Kuva?
Yeah, I just want to. We this is where we pretty bad last week on this one because of the law. I mean, I'll do it now because just to explain. So obviously, just to point out, there's so much content in this game. Some of it we played years ago. We're never going to remember everything. And one person even pointed out, it's like, you guys are friends with Zale. Yeah, Zale is awesome. And yes, I have watched. I'm sure Xeno has as well. We've watched Zale's videos many times, and I need to rewatch them more. But at the same time, nothing really sticks in your mind more than it being in the game and done well. So, yeah, apparently they are after the Kuva. That's what there is in the Unum that they want, because that allow them to regenerate again.
When's this said?
Okay, the list of people, I can't remember which one gave this comment, but I'll list the people who pointed this out. At least it was Joshua Minute, Ali Al-Khatib, Panda242, Zrugal, and Faber at least points out. But the thing is, one person, I can't remember who it is now, sorry. In the Legend of Gara fragments from Glassfish scans, it describes how the sentience that becomes the Eidolon discovered that the Tower Kuva can allow itself to regenerate and reproduce. Gara then blows up before it can do anything. If the sentience got their hands on the Kuva, they can erase the problem of the void, making them barren and infertile for replication. This is why Kuva can matter to the sentience, apparently. And I think it's something like they were killing, the sentience were like eating the animals out on the plains, and they had a little bit of Kuva in, and they realized it was the Kuva that was giving it the ability to regenerate or something. That's what one person said. So, yeah. And also, so I agree. We know we're not experts. We're only fallible humans going to point this out. But thank you for people who are pointing out our fails, because that's important you do, and we take it on board. But at the same time, I do feel that like that piece of lore was like from scanning the fish statues. It's like that's a key piece of lore that is like hidden away through scanning fish statues, never really pointed at, and it's just like, and it kind of doesn't make sense, because then why aren't they after the Kuva siphons? Like
this
it feels like that is a key lore element. I mean, I overlooked it. I'm not great with the fish statue lore and things like that, and the lore of playing things, and I'm not sure how you are if you've done your fish statue scans, but like to lock it away, and that is kind of a key thing that can apply to everything. And it's like, oh, it's hidden on the plains if you scan all these statues. It's like, why? You almost need. I gave this reply to someone. You almost need someone like Zale to explain the thing to you, and that just feels wrong. So
look at Zale.
Yeah, we definitely fell on that one. But yeah, so As you can see there on. Have you read out the stats on the percentages?
No, I haven't
already?
yet. Right. So the question was,
do it now, then.
do you feel sentience should be after Kuva? 15%, sorry, 18% said no, 21% said that they didn't care, and 62% said yes. But this lore-wise doesn't make sense to me, because otherwise, how is Lotus able to mass-produce sentience? Or Natar?
Somewhat. What in the end of that video?
Yeah.
Cutscene. Apparently, somebody else put a comment on this. I do apologize. I've been pretty rubbish on the comments on this one. That it doesn't actually specifically say that. It just says sing to them, I think. Which we don't know if that means bring the sentience from the other solar system, or it means heal them or produce more. We don't. It just says sing.
No, I do remember there being something about. I don't know. I don't know. This. I'll be honest. I'm getting a little tired of. Wow, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm getting a little tired of Warframe's plot, because it's always adding in new MacGuffins, new factions, new whatever, and it rarely brings back anything.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, I'm going to turn that off for a second.
I can't seem to find it now, but yeah, somebody said it was about singing to them.
But the whole... We have been... It's 7 years. We're getting on to 8 years of Warframe. And the plot has been really lackluster. Like, what...
Only of late. Only, I would say, since Sacrifice, I think, was the last good point.
Yeah, when was that? 2018?
2018, yeah. Since then, that they deciding to just chop the lore into pieces makes it really distance between it. Yet these points are supposed to matter, and then they also feel really disconnected anyway, because I think they had different design concepts in mind when doing them, because they're not doing them as one big concept and then releasing them as that. It just seems to not allow them to put the whole story in their mind, and then it makes it very hard for them to move the story from their mind to our minds.
But I feel questions aren't being... So I remember when, again, we were going over the plot for the first season of Faulty Frame Squad. We rigorously went through it. People, I just feel no one's asking the questions when it comes to the plot. Like, why isn't the Mike Owens appearing on Deimos? Why isn't Arlo coming to Deimos? Why isn't... why wasn't, what's his name? Parvos Granum at Deimos. He was the one that bloody first hinted at the Intrati. And it feels
no, I maybe not him. I can understand having a quick break from him and him doing other things, because it makes sense, because seeing as this is the next thing after that, well, release wise, which is kind of like a timeline. It could be he's getting himself set up in the corpus, restating his forces, shoring up his finance base. There could be things he's doing. He doesn't need to turn up here. I'd love it if he did turn up as a random event on the plane, outside on the whatever shelf, randomly, just like setting down a few to collect some samples, and I'm like, Tenno, I see you are here also. Interesting. Do you too want the secrets of the Intrati? Something like that.
Or even if he walked out of the Necrolisc as you walked in, right? Something as simple as that, right? But the thing that I dislike about the plot for Warframe, right? I'm sorry, I'm taking a stance on this. The characters, the NPCs, do not exist. They have no plot outside of you being present. If you're not there, those characters effectively just do not exist, because they have done nothing. They have achieved nothing, right?
I could say that's true for a lot of games. Like, I'm just thinking, I'm going to do the World of Warcraft comparison as we go to it. And most key events happen around the player character. And it's annoying when things happen off screen, like, Jaina trying to destroy Ogrimmar, but that was in a book. It's like, oh, well, that's annoying. I wanted to see that. That would have been really cool,
I completely agree with you, but at least it's in a book. At least if you wanted to, you had the choice to go ahead and read it. But you know, it's the look.
No, in fact, actually, I know what you mean. Actually, because I think you're right. Do you remember Arid Fear, the first event that we actually did?
I don't remember.
Right. So back then, the way D would release things is that it was like the diorama with a wad of text, which would explain things. On the wad of text, as you say, things would happen without you being present. So what happened in the Arid Fear event is the Grineer were building colonies on, it was the Phobos tile set release. So let's just say Phobos, even though it was Mars or whatever. So they were building, let's say, colonies on Phobos, and then they hired the Corpus to hide the map coordinates for the transferring of resources and things to there, so that the Tenno couldn't find out where these settlements were.
Right.
And so we had to go, and then so the Corpus were trying to be sneaky. It was Alad V, in fact, they hired. It didn't say who Alad V was at that point because he was the next thing to be released. So there was a new character coming in. There was the Corpus interacting with the Grineer, and then what we had to do is we had to get things from maps to then go to a mission in the void on unprotected Corpus ships to go get the coordinates.
Right.
And then we would unlock the tile set. So there things are happening that are not linked to us. It's not things that are happening right in front of us. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, exactly. So it's you know, I mean, yeah, you could argue, but then you have the whole thing with Alad V and what's the name of I can't remember what the name of the amalgam or the sentient, the mimic was.
Rhodopolis?
For the Rhodopolis. There was a sentient that disguised themselves as a Corpus board member, and the board member went up to Alad, got in bed with Alad to fund some sentient Corpus project. What?
It just looks like goes up to Alad, gets in bed with Alad.
But no, but
Alad wakes up in the morning, what's that?
But the whole point is that, you know, there's...
You're going to wake up with a sentient in your bed tomorrow.
There's little background to the plot, but that is only to further what has happened with you. Right, what is happening to you right now? Where is the whole, you know, there's an assault between Tilragor and Vehek. Or better yet, there's more antagonization between Tilragor and Nathaniel, right? You know, it turns out that, all of a sudden, the Grineer are attacking Fortuna because Nathaniel has abandoned it and Tilragor has taken advantage of it, right?
Yeah, it goes down to something we've said over years, is we're missing operations, and operations used to make things feel like it was an active universe.
Yeah.
But ever since, and then they replaced that with cinematic stories, making it feel like an active universe. And now it's just raw content drops the only time we get things, but they just feel so static because they don't have any life or time. It's just, that's it. It's plonked into the world. It's permanent. It's a permanent fixture. It's a quest. It's an open world, and it doesn't breathe. It's just yes. But that should be part of active things happening.
Yeah.
They kind of, I think they did well with Plague Star. Plague Star made the planes feel special, and then they just didn't do anything with Fortuna, and who knows if they're going to do anything with Demos.
Well, technically they did do stuff with Fortuna. It was the Thermia fractures, but...
No, because no. Well, okay,
I said
maybe.
technically.
I
said technically.
Technically, I think you're right, because it was trying to do something active, but it was trying to be less of an event as Plague Star, so it could be more regular, but it just doesn't have an impact like Plague Star does. It's just too common, too useless. And it does actually affect something like, I keep pointing this out, and I didn't know, the more people do Thermia fractures, it then gives everyone else on the planes double credit drops, which is kind of cool.
I think you mean Obvalis.
It's so... Sorry, yes. It just gives everyone double credit drops, but it's just such a negligible thing. It makes no fanfare of it, and it's just, that should be stage 1 of many stages, and like people should want to reach stage 5 of Thermia fractures because it opens up a new boss or something.
Actually, one instance of what I'm talking about,
it unlocks the Orokin Thermia worm boss. I don't know, that would be cool.
One instance of what I'm talking about, where the world is actually going by you, is Nathaniel and Vox Solaris on the big billboard screens in Fortuna, right?
Oh, yeah.
Nathaniel isn't talking to the Tenno, he's talking to the Solarians. Vox Solaris isn't talking to you, they're talking to the Solarians, right? You are just there able to witness it, right? But yeah, where is that with anything else?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's me on a tangent with the whole graph.
Rants. Anyway, let's move on. Next graph.
Last graph is how do you feel about last week's episode of 10 o'clock? 6% said negative, 24% said neutral, don't care, 71% said positive. Do we have any comments on what we can do better?
No.
Okay, well, if
I didn't see any.
Anyone who's voting negative, seriously, just let us know what we can do better. Right.
Yeah, no, I didn't see anyone specifically say that they didn't like it or whatever. Or do it this way. Yeah, we are open to changing everything, to be honest.
Cool. Right. So let's move on to the next thing we do. What is the next thing we do? Patreon questions?
If we're going
Supporter
by the
questions.
orders of this, it says here.
Supporter questions.
It says Patreon questions.
Supporter questions.
Oh, yes. Good point there. Oh, can I just...
What?
I've got this on the community comments, but I suppose it fits on here. Ryan Swaz says... Swaz? You should start an OnlyFans too. I don't know if that was a joke or serious.
That's clearly a joke. You know what OnlyFans is, right?
Yeah, I do. I do.
How could that be?
You never know with these things. I don't know if there might be clever people who are using it for other purposes because it's a great payment processor or something. I don't know. I was wondering. There might be other, but...
Right, okay.
No, don't. I'm pretty sure
Incognito mode. Sorry, what?
Right, moving on to the Patreon questions. Tatsu, do you feel we should be able to subsume prime frames? And do you think we should be able to plat rush that process?
No.
Well, the question is, if you subsume a prime frame, would it give you the same ability as the normal frame? Or would it give you the same ability, but with gold tinted effects? Or would it give you a new ability? My opinion is, if it gives you the same ability as just your normal frame, I don't see any problem why not, because it's just, somebody might just be like, oh, I don't want this prime frame, just bleh. Unless they're hinting at a future importance of primes, which would be cool, then I don't see why not. Maybe the gold sparkly effects would be nice as well on the ability if you use the prime frame version, but then even then I think people would complain because Excalibur Prime, what do you do with that? And then as for new abilities, then again, people complain about Excalibur Prime if someone was crazy enough to do that. Also, it'd be a lot more work for TE. So I think you should do normal frames because it gives people another reason to go farm the normal map and get the normal version of frames, which means they're fighting bosses, which means more people are active on the solar system, which is always a good thing.
Everything Loz is saying, also, I can easily envision people complaining, but there isn't a Nezha Prime, but there isn't a Grendel Prime, so on and so forth.
Yeah, you make a very good point about that. Yeah, they'd be... Yeah.
Anyway.
Duvaru. So far, in the open worlds, we have the Plains of Eidolon, the Orbs of Valis. He didn't say all of, I'm saying it. And the Cambrian of Drift, because for Earth, Venus, and Deimos, respectively. In acronomically arranged formats, they initially make POV, OVCD. Does this mean we have a point of view for the original voice of the compact discs? What are the messages? No, it's clearly the word Povovkod. Povovkod is the future. What other messages can we get from this made-up code I'm uselessly investigating? No question here, just telling you, congrats on getting in the creator program Xeno. You're a joy and a laugh to hang out with. And I'm glad to be a part of your community so you can continue to make stuff about this game that we enjoy. You make him feel all funny inside.
Actually, that's just hungry.
Zrugel asks again, what's your favorite kaiju? I think that's for you because I answered that last week.
Yeah, I know. Shit, what's my favorite kaiju? Still don't have an answer for this. Ask again next week.
If you could have Claire... Yeah, ask again, Zrugel. Zrugel will remember. If you could have Claire Vousden, the voice actress for Little Duck, on the show, would you? But she can only use the little duck voice for the whole episode.
Okay, first off, I'm perfectly fine for any voice actor to come on the show.
I love them.
Right?
They're brilliant.
Little teaser, we've got another one coming up soon. And I'm fine with the accent. The problem I have is the terminology, right?
Right.
We don't say muckety muck. It's not a thing.
Is that no? Isn't it an Americanism or something?
It is an Americanism.
Yeah. I don't know. I just look up this person, Claire Velston. Are they American? Are they English?
I don't know.
You should look up. Yeah. And now moving on. It'd be great to have them on, I think.
Yeah.
Moving on. Let Zephyr dive bomb fish. Is that they do?
Yes.
Right. Evening Xeno with I can't. I'm going to try and do a Thalian voice. I can't do a Thalian voice. Evening Xeno with how much fan art of Mother you predicted? Were you in any way prepared for Daughter? Oh.
I was not prepared for Daughter, and the sheer volume
memes,
of Daughter.
The memes. Freaking memes.
How many Daughter memes?
None. We are having none.
Double Daughter
so looking
memes.
at the amount of upvotes they get, by the time we reach my freaking double memes, they're going to be, and I'm not saying as I'm not picking them, and I said I'd pick memes I didn't pick for that, they're going to be nothing but Daughter memes and double memes. Double Daughter memes. There you go. It's probably what we're getting up with. Anyway, yeah, were you prepared?
No, of course not.
Okay. Let Zephyr dive bomb for fish also says, actually, that's a really good concept, let Zephyr dive bomb for fish. Yeah. Hey, Loz, now that Xeno made it into new creative power, does this mean we can officially pile back on the pressure for Xeno to actually create machinimas? Well, that would be a good idea now, wouldn't it, Thalian? How's that coming there, Xeno?
Rude. Yeah, no, I will do it. Oh my god.
We can also pile back on me now that to make my own videos now that this is working. Hey, look at this. I'm gonna use this. Yeah.
You need to get hands working first.
Yeah.
No, I really think you do, because you need to be able to be more expressive, because
yeah, I can get that, but I don't know. Maybe get started, and that'll give me the impetus to improve rather than try and fix. I at least be able to move my shoulders, but you don't want to see the hands. You don't want to see these hands. The poor hands are broken, very broken. But yeah, at least even if I use I will next week. I'll use the hand tracking to at least break up the shoulders, and I can do things with it. It'll be better. But anyway, moving on. Ludisafor Pain, considering your relative closeness with some of DE and your weekly discussions of what you'd like and dislike about certain content, are you ever tempted to ask why?
Yes, but the problem is that a lot of the members that I talk to, a lot of the D staff members, well, so why do the thing that I dislike?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Right. So the problem is that a lot of the staff members that I talk to on the regular, they are not the people that do the design decisions, so on and so forth. But a large part of the conversations I have with them is about them personally as a human being, not, as Gearin the DE cog, can you please explain something? I don't have that relationship with them. I know them personally. I know about their pets. I know about their likes, their dislikes, so on and so forth.
He knows where they live.
I don't know that, but that's the relationship I have with them. It's more friends than colleagues.
Also, I grinded a Velocipod across the Cambrian Drift last night, and I could swear I could hear Xeno's teeth grinding all the way here in Australia.
That was actually the noise that they used for the grinding sound. It was actually they got me to grind my teeth. That's what they used for the Velocipod grinding sound. Yep.
Oh dear. Actually, also, but the previous thing, something about grinding on Velocipods. There is a time when we wish we asked why, or we asked a further question, and we were too tired. We will forever fail at this.
Was it? I had 2 hours of sleep.
We had 2 hours of sleep, and they told us hey, we're adding hoverboards into the game, and my brain was like going mile a minute. It's were you going to remove Arcwing? Is Arcwing still going to be a thing? Is that going to work against it? And there was other questions which I think I'm still covered with NDA, which I can't explain. But there was like 20 questions in my head, and we both of us just like,
Cool.
oh, yeah, that's cool.
We're also British, so we don't show
we're also
emotion.
British, yeah. Yeah, we don't. That's true. We could have fixed
Not like
Warframe.
2 hours of sleep.
We could have saved Warframe. Like
Anyway.
we just asked, I think you should probably remove the Arcwings then, or not have Arcwings to really mean it that you have to acknowledge with this method of transportation and use it. All we could manage there was
Cool.
It's our fault, Drew. It's our fault. Lastly, from Call 3, why is there a big black box here?
Oh, it's because that wasn't question. That was conversation. That was dialogue, and it wasn't relevant.
Also for Call 3303?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think of them giving infested armor now? Do you think it impacts faction identity, or do you think that they need to do it even after rework to make the enemies a bit more durable?
So some of the infested actually now have armor. I feel that it does impact faction identity. To me, the thing about the infested was the Zerg rush, right? But the problem with that is I think basically I tried Deimos on my parents' PC, which is like a Ryzen 3 or Ryzen 5 or something like that, and it could barely cope. I had to drop the graphics settings down because the machine could barely cope. I was really shocked by this. So I feel that they had to not have the Zerg rush because people's computers wouldn't be able to cope, and thus the only real alternative was to give them things like armor. Shields would make no sense whatsoever. Not if they're proxies. Yeah, no, I take that back.
Yeah, proxies.
Yeah. So, but
see, that's how I think it should work. If they infest a Grineer, it should have some armor. If they infect a Corpus, it should have shields. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Just like the raw, pure infestation, like Ancients, like I don't know. I have to see which ones have it and how it fits.
Oh, especially the new ones. So
well,
anyway,
no.
Yes, I feel it takes away from the representation, but I think it's needed.
Fine, fair enough. So that's it for the supporter questions. Let us move on to the community. Go wait for 30 seconds. There we go. Responses. Yep. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Ali Al-Khatib. Xeno shaved his beard. He is now just a shadow of his former self.
What? I didn't shave my beard.
I know that's what it said.
I've trimmed it. It's but I did this months ago.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what it said.
Yeah, 2 months ago.
So a name, Peter Grave and Thomas Cooperstein, they were all explaining to me. Now, last week I was saying about getting rid of the guns on the solo for Railjack, the main player, the main guns.
Yeah.
Now, I would not. They all pointed out. Everyone pointed out. Oh, the solo player needs it. Solo player needs it. I wouldn't just dump the solo player with nothing to do. So, in my mind, just to point this out, either one simple way you could do is just give the main guns for solo play, and the solo play trigger. Once you put your mission to solo play, you can't let other people join. So, it would be a clear cut way to enable those guns if you just want to do that. But what I personally, whenever I say this, like moving that, in my mind, we're still supposed to be getting the last intrinsics tree, which allows you to control NPCs, and that is supposed to be, in my understanding, the method for solo play.
I wouldn't give them to solo play. I would make sure that the command intrinsics, that the NPCs are in. Like,
yes, yeah. That's what I mean. Is that in my mind? I'm not really like don't. I always try and we do consider the solo play option. We're not just saying, oh yeah, solo players. In my mind, DE if they were to redo this, that would probably come in at the time we get the command intrinsics, and there would be other things going on. And yes, the solo play situation would be fine. In fact, the command intrinsics is supposed to fix solo play, because I remember when it came out and they said, the game is not solo play, until we get these command intrinsics. Where those are, it's another question.
I think so. The reason why I want to shoot down the whole solo play will get the main guns is exclusively because the defection game mode to get the was it? I think it was one of the Harrow parts. In order to actually do that, it was easier to do it solo, to force it so that it was solo.
Right, yes, in fact I did it that way, yeah.
And that's why I want to say no, you should bring in the NPCs, because it shouldn't have an advantage in terms of solo.
Yes, yeah. Well, either one. But so the point is, we wouldn't forget solo play. We'd remember about them. Right. Next, there will be pain. I think it was. God, I wish I could have been on this episode in my LMAO. So much stuff I could have clarified. Would have loved to discuss the writing style and sentient stuff. I'm the new Ko-fi supporter, for your information. Made sure to donate enough to get on an episode at some point. I look forward to that episode. It'll be good. There you go, Xeno. Add it to the list.
Add what to the list?
Evalio, the list of people that'll be in, because I know you have a list. You have many lists.
Yes.
Guests.
I've set up the next Patreon. Sorry, the next supporter guest. Like, we're just waiting for it to clarify. We're waiting for it to clarify who it's going to be.
Evalio Popov. To be fair, I did the Shadow Quest and bought the parts before they made it available for all, and before Scarlet Spear by making some Tenno taxi me. It worked then. I now heard they got rid of the taxi for people with no level 7 intrinsics or something. So yeah, this exclusivity doesn't solve anything. True, but I think it was meant to be, and obviously you've just had a workaround. What do you mean?
Sorry, I don't understand. What's this relating to?
I said about the Shadow being kind of exclusive, being at the end of Railjack and being kind of something you to work towards.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of dumped it into Scarlet Spear, and then everyone got it, and it's like, right, now people don't have even a reason to really go finish Railjack.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, okay, I'm with you now.
JJ24, the avionics as host works kind of differently than the client for some reason, which is why I never use it as client. Let's go through the notable battle avionics. So thank you for this, because I always like people providing me these kind of things, because it's like I'd have to go try them, and it's just like, I hate the bloody symbols. It's like, what does this symbol mean? What is this? It's like, this terrible UI. Anyway, Tether is OP. Munitions Vortex is up there, but more effort than Tether. Void Hole, while nice, costs too much. Seeker Volley falls off in damage for its high cost. Particle Ram is useful for farming. Countermeasures are good for speedrunning Scarlet Spear, preventing the cruise ships from destroying the Space Satellite. There we go. So I will make very good use of that. Thank you very much, JJ24. And lastly, just Thomas Cooperstein. Make Railjack able to be customized, even the weight class and stealth capabilities. Make the Railjack modular more than it is. Everyone plays with the ship a little differently, so go back and read the first letter of each line. What? I didn't actually finish reading that before I put it in there.
I don't know what you said. What does it say?
Double means.
Double means.
I didn't read that last freaking line. And he got me. I wondered why that was formatted in a weird way. I didn't even see that. I honestly didn't even see that. I even took the second half. I didn't read out the top one, which has double, and then sits me.
Good job.
Well done, Circus. Good job. Good job. Tricked me very well. Right. Yes. And that's it for the community replies. I'm going to now play with my windows because they all need to go somewhere else.
Are you ready to do the memes?
I am, and you've got the thing, and I'll need to open them as well because I don't have them open. Yes. Right. I'm ready.
Okay. Give me 2
though I need to write down.
I'll do it.
Have you wrote down the time?
I'll do it. Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you very much. Right.
Cool.
So the first meme,
yes,
is I think I've expanded the capture area I was going for to include like the title now, so it should see a bit more. Oh God, don't put that over that window. Right. Okay. First one is Top Hat Be Gone. This one doesn't really have anything to do with the new content like some of the other stuff, but I just loved it so much. It's like, I fear no man, but that thing scares me. And it's Limbo and your good old Nullifier. We haven't had a Nullifier topic in ages, have we?
No.
No. So there we go. There be a nullifier joke. Xeno's
Crazy.
lost. Meme number 2. Extra nice. Vita 69 calm. Fortuna 69 calm. Necrolis 69 busy. After all these years, finally I have them all.
I remember. I think I saw this on Twitter at some point. I was like, "Yep."
Meme number 3. Oh, I like the idea of this one. PC players finally got to feel console pain. PC players, DE nerfed something before we got it. They can't do that. Console players, DE nerfed some shit before we got it. I know. Do you appreciate this?
I understand it,
Yes. Yeah.
but yeah,
But it's like that. There's been a lot of whinging about the helmet nerfs before it came out, but then like poor console players never get to see anything super powered because it always goes through the PC vetting process. By the time it comes to console, everything is very stable, very clear, very So finally, we got a taste of what it's feeling like to be console. It's great to see an update on all of them at the same time.
Yep.
Right. 4th meme. Sorry, darling. I spent it on Kavat armor. Girlfriend. Why is there a charge for $4,000 on my credit card? Me. Cat armor.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep. Cat armor. That's where it's at. Right. Meme number 5. I'm happy I get if I don't get a laugh out of you, I feel kind of bad. There we are.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, so I'm using this meme again, I think. Yes. Did I really use this meme twice?
Apparently.
Yes, I did. I haven't, seeing as this meme's been up for weeks and I haven't used a version of it. Oh, yes, I had to this one because it was the vets. I just had to. It's the whole cake and eat it meme, but a bit different.
Yeah.
So, the vets right now. Token system can't get you to max rank within 3 days. No, I must reach the max rank within the new syndicate within 3 days. That's vets. And then normal people. Lol, actual content drop. Let's enjoy and play through it. Yes. Player who gone through 2 open world update before. It's like, yeah, and I'm totally with that because it's like, yeah, just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then final meme of the week, which I picked for Xeno. Demos and Kavat. Tenno plans to go to an entire infested moon. The Kavat sleeping in the orbiter. Did somebody say fool?
Oh, that cat. Oh, what the hell is it doing?
I don't know.
I think it's climbing through. No, wait. What?
I think it was climbing up and then got trapped in the frame between the window and the thing, and now it's trying to escape out through the fan, through the
blinds.
Yeah, and then just crazy.
Oh.
I just want to get that many upvotes, but I love this meme because it's like I think everyone's forgotten the lore that basically Kavats are supposed to be eating infested.
Actually, so I was talking to Armenia and Thalian. You know the new infested Kavat and Kubros?
Yeah.
They're not actually infested Kavat or infested Kubro. They just use those systems, but like the Volpera and the I don't know what they're basically their own species. So they were never Kavat or Kubro.
Oh, okay, and it's just a working name to call them the infested because it's the infested.
Yes, exactly. So it's using the Volpera will use the Kavat system, whereas the whatever it's called uses the Kubro system. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Cool.
That's,
so that's
it for
the memes.
Right.
Now we're gonna do the community shoutouts.
Trade you for the time, which was easy to type in. Right, yes.
Cool.
I can also click here and get them up. So yes, right.
All right. So first community shoutout is that's the memes. My bad.
I did the same.
The first community shoutout is Daughter by Zilvtree. So Zilvtree's done quite a number of the Entrati family, but I think this was the first one they did, and yeah, I really like this one. So, yeah.
So I think there's a bit of a language issue here. So how many of my bones will break mother if I ask her daughter out? Asking for a
Yeah,
friend.
so I think Zilftry
I think that's how
is
many
Japanese.
will mother break.
Yes,
Ah,
yeah.
yes. Right, got you.
I actually found out something really interesting about the Japanese language is that they don't normally use, is it pronouns? So they don't use like I, you, we, he, she. They typically either don't have a subject, or they will refer to someone by name and not anything else, which is really interesting.
Okay.
I'll link you the video. Right. So the second community shout out, by the way, lovely piece. Second community shout out is Mother by Azutan.
Oh, another lovely piece. That one is quite vibrant. The use of the colors, it's almost glowing.
Yep.
Wow.
A
bit younger than I think she's supposed to be actually there, but yeah.
Yeah, actually,
very soft.
one thing I found really interesting is with the cutscenes between each. Oh God, what's the name of the damn thing? Rank in the syndicate in the Encharti family. They have a couple of them have daughter, and there's this weird effect on daughter's skin. I think it's supposed to be like where it's going into the infestation, but it looks sort of like oh God, how do I like boils and things like that on her skin? It looks really weird. I'm not quite sure if it's textured wrong or if it's supposed to be like leading into the infestation. But anyway,
sadly, I can't quite see her from here.
No, you
She's
can't.
over there, I think.
No,
yeah.
you can't.
Yeah.
Why don't you just wave at Mother? Oh, you can't. You don't have hands.
My hands are broken.
Right.
I think I lead weights.
Right. The third community shout out is a Neja Prime Concept by Cleo Natarin. That's the memes loss.
Do you know what I clicked on? Oh wait,
because I can see your cursor.
It's like a cat meme. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty badass.
Right.
Yeah. I can't really say much about it. It's just really cool.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what they do with Neja Prime, but yeah.
Exactly. To be honest though, I think I would like to see Neja have like more gold bits and things like that compared to what's in this concept, but still, I really, really like it. Fourth community shout out is tagged For the Mag Fans by Chicken Draws Dogs. So there was 2 pieces in this. I've actually taken the second piece to show everyone, which is, I believe, an Ember and a Mag.
Oh, I love the first one more. It's a shame. What's that first one? Is Gara and Mag, I think.
I don't know. It might be a Gara.
I mean, they're both great pieces. I like the first one more though, but yeah, there's some great art. The link, by the way, if you want to see both pieces of art, will be in the description of this video below. So yeah, as is all the memes, by the way. You can find it all in the description below. We don't pretend to hide our art. We give you them links so you can go find these people and respect the original author.
So the 5th community shout out is, I think it's Akria. It's a Warframe concept by Veldemoth. The art is done by Cleo Natarin, and the abilities are done by Rahatalius.
Way, I see. It's a combination of many, many people working in collaboration.
Yeah, I believe.
So, Arkea, Warframe concept. The Treasure Hunter is done. Thank you at Cleo Natarin for the art. Rahatalius for working on the abilities, and more people who contributed to the concept. We've come a long way. Right, let's have a look. That's a. Ooh, I'm okay. And then what's these abilities like?
Let's everyone, if you want to go check the abilities, they're in the community shoutouts. So I've not got the list in display. So let's move on to the 6th community shoutout, which is this Oberon Deluxe by Hellbob.
We're blind to the future consequence, casting our debts on those to come. But what if now the Grey Mother sought revenge? Wow, that's pretty epic. And I love the posing.
Yep. I think that's actually the Reckoning pose.
Angle shot. But it doesn't look like he's doing a reckoning though. It looks like he's like dropping stuff on the plants. Like, rise, plants, rise!
It's kind of hard to tell because for me it's like tiny. So. And then the 7th community shout out is Neja by Cleo Natarin.
McKay just forbidden his heterosexuality for Neja in the suit. Okay. As a nurse suit.
Yeah.
Nice Neja. I find those hands would be very hard to put in those pockets with those spiky knuckles. Very tricky. When you get new trousers every few days as you break them.
Or the jacket, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Right.
So that's it for the community shoutouts.
Yes. Let us move on to the final part of the episode.
Cool. So now moving on to the meme. So not the meme, the quote. Right. Fortuna will no longer watch from the shadows. We cannot. We must not. We will work to be an example of how we, as brothers and sisters on this Venus, should treat each other. Now more than ever, the illusions of division threaten our very existence. We all know the truth. More connects us than separates us, but in times of crisis, the Solarians build bridges while the Corpus build barriers. We must find a way to look after one another as if we were one single species.
It's not Black Panther, is it?
It is Black Panther.
Ah.
Yeah.
I wondered if you do that. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Obviously, very sadly, I'm terrible with names.
Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman. Excellent portrayal of T'Challa. I can remember T'Challa. God damn it, why can't I remember Chadwick Boseman?
Yeah.
Did a great job. And the thing got me is that it seems very sad. Is that he just he didn't tell anyone about his condition. He just disappeared. It's just so sad. But at least that's the thing with artists and performances. We always have their art to remember them by, and he did an amazing job. So there we are. What a nice quote to finish off the end. So if anyone doesn't know, Chadwick Boseman sadly died this past week of, I believe it was colon cancer. I think it was colon.
Oh, colon. Yes, no, it was colon.
Yeah, and it's not a nice cancer.
Yeah.
Not that any cancer is nice, but yes. Yeah. Anyway, that's good quote. Very nice use of terms. And that is it for this episode.
Cool.
That was a quick one. Right. So we're just signing out now?
Yeah, I'm hitting the button. I hit the button.
Can you hit the button? What? Can I? I've been a very good boy. I'm going to stop now and say, I've got my face back. I've got my face back. Look at my face. Oh, God, this is my face. Oh, this is my beautiful face. Oh, look at it. It's beautiful. It's my face.